Hey folks, and welcome to another edition of Streaming with Chasing Sasquatch. This is Robert Rankin. I'll be your host, and I'll be going over the wonderful topic of the day, which is the truth about the Star Wars The Last Jedi boycotting and Russian trolls, which has been a big thing shown on The Verge, USA Today, Kotaku, Bleeding Cool, bunch of other sources, supposedly news sources, that got their information from this Russian guy, not a Russian guy, Morton Bay, at a college for communication and, what was that? Journalism and communication. He went to Twitter and he looked up the metadata on all of the negative posts towards Rian Johnson and Star Wars The Last Jedi and all that other wonderful stuff. And from the metadata that he gathered, we were able, or he was able, to simply come to the snap decision that all the folks using Russian IPs were trolls from Russia who have had the time. Half of the people from that were giving critical reviews and critical statements and derogatory statements were all of that half were Russian trolls. And the problem is this guy going to college that published this claim and thesis actually had no relevant data besides exactly what Twitter said. He didn't do any cross-referencing. He didn't subpoena Twitter. He doesn't have access to the IPs or the MAC addresses. Every unique device has a MAC address. And he didn't factor in the staggering truth that there are people out there with access to software and hardware that can mask your IPs. It's called VPN, Virtual Private Networking. It can mask your indent. It can mask your MAC address. You can set up a fake one. And I decided last week that I was going to go ahead and take some time, go on to IRC, use Tor. If you don't know what that is, that's to get into the dark web. Go on with my own VPN and what will you call them? ID loggers and spoofers, IP loggers, and circumnavigate the net. Created my own Twitter account with a what was that? I created a fake Twitter account with a Google phone number and went ahead and was able to have it fooled into designating my own location was somewhere in Russia. I believe it was Moscow or Berlin. Not Berlin. I think maybe Berlin, one or the other. But I've burned the account since then, and I went on to, as I said, the IRC chat rooms, and I spoke to people who are fans of Star Wars. I spoke to people who are hackers. I've gotten quite a bit of information now. To retain my own journalistic integrity, I cannot give the names of my sources, and I posted some made-up names over on ChasingSasquatch.com and got some statements, which you could see over there, where they call Morton a number of things because he's a hack. And so are all of these news sources that didn't verify and check the integrity. And obviously, none of these people are tech savvy. Absolutely none of them could figure out that people were using VPNs and proxies with bots to basically troll everything. And it's absolutely hilarious that you have all of these supposed news sources, railing to high heaven, hailing Morton Bay's lies as fact, when someone like me can go and get 3 or 4 applications, one VPN, one Mac changer, software Mac changer, create a Twitter profile with a bot. I have the software. I can create multiple Twitter profiles with multiple Google phone numbers through multiple I mean, it's staggering that people do not know that this stuff is out there. But, it's Morton Babe posted this and we see it as truth, and it's not. And I contacted his educational institution. I tried to get in touch with Morton. I've done what I can to, touch base, and I get nothing. Even from, news at chasingsasquatch.com email, even from my Google mail, even after writing a 2-page or 1 1/4 page, article on this, calling them out on it. They absolutely refuse to look at the facts, look at the relevant data, and to verify or, prove against the evidence that I've provided. And rather than people going and saying, oh, I want to see your evidence. Well, all you have to do is grab the programs yourself and go to IRCs or chat rooms or even the Facebook. There's Star Wars Sith posting and Star Wars parody posting, Tashi Station on Facebook with thousands of members of people that are just bagging on Star Wars The Last Jedi, and none of them are Russian. Well, there might be a few, but those comrades in Russia really don't have time to be wasting on on harassing Rian Johnson when we got guys with server farms in Minnesota and Michigan and Texas and Tennessee and North Carolina, South Carolina, Nevada, Arizona, California, Florida, that are just bagging on themselves with their alt accounts, making fun of all the stupid crap that's been going on with Star Wars The Last Jedi, and people not really paying attention to what exactly is going on with the fandom. And I find it funny and a little bit sad that we have such a wealth of supposed professionals, that are covering nerd culture, and they're all really just a bunch of liars and charlatans. And we have to deal with, calling out their BS, calling their bluff, and they won't answer to anyone because they think because they've got they've got some kind of credentials, they are above reprieve. And this is happening with The Verge. This is happening with Bleeding Cool. This is happening with Kotaku. This is happening with all these guys. And it's gonna be us, the people that are, viewing their content and ad rev, that's gonna have to say, we don't agree and we don't believe, because this has got to stop. And if I can verify it without a college degree, some minor college, but without a college degree in journalism and communication, and just, some CCNIA and Microsoft certified and some other IT certifications, can verify that all of the things that Morton Bay said are an absolute lie and fabrication based on topical, superficially collected metadata from Twitter, then these guys are a joke. And we have to hold Rian Johnson and the rest of all these people going, it's all fake, it's all trolls. We're going to hold them accountable for their crap, or no one will. And if no one will, then this is just going to get worse. And all of a sudden, the fans, the real fans, the true fans, are going to be called Russian bots. And let me tell you something, comrade. I'm here in California. And if I could do fact checking over in California, and if I could use a VPN to spoof that I'm somewhere in the Ukraine telling everybody that, I am, I'm verifying everything, and the actual news sources don't want to verify that, Bay Morton is a lying shill, then it's, like I said, the burden of proof falls to us. And if I could go and point at one thing and say, oh, hey, that's not real, and here's why, and everyone goes, oh, yeah, you're a viable source, all we have to look at are these jokes that are making the news. And it's time that we, as fans, as people who've spent money, and I wish I had my camera on, but I don't. I'm too poor to have a webcam. I grabbed my 4 R2-D2 figurines, my Prince Zizor figurine, my Yoda and my Vader figurine, pull down all my Star Wars, the role-playing game books that I've got sitting on my shelf, and all of the source books for all the other Star Wars content that I own, and show you that I've probably spent more money in memorabilia for Star Wars than Rian Johnson and Kennedy have spent on the lifetime of any purchases for Star Wars. And the only money that they have involved in Star Wars is bleeding the fandom dry. Anyways, folks, thank you very much. I hope this format is a little bit different. We've got some World of Warcraft here playing in the background. And I have been enjoying playing while talking to you. Yes, I have been live streaming while I'm doing PvP combat, and I have been having a modicum of fun. It's not bad. It's not great either, but I wanted to tell people the truth about this and show that I'm a human being and not some soulless automaton from Russia. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy this little bit of combat in action, and I will be talking to you the next time around. Have a good one. Bye-bye.